This is Danny from English Plus Podcast, and today we will talk about artificial intelligence. Is it really smarter than us, or is it just a fancy calculator? In this episode, we'll explore some handy vocabulary too, like what it means to mimic something, to have a quirk, and how to recognize bias. Plus, we'll talk about phrases like takeover and food for thought. All words and phrases you can use in your daily life. So, let's get to it. Artificial intelligence. Yep, the stuff of sci-fi movie, world domination fears, and let's face it, a few 100,000 overly dramatic TED Talks. But what is AI really? Is it that super brain to outsmart us all? Or is it just a glorified calculator that sometimes spits out suspiciously smart answers and other times recommends a blender when you're searching for a book on philosophy? Today we're diving into the world of artificial intelligence in just a few minutes. So grab your thinking cap, or don't. AI might just be wearing it for you already. So what is it? What is AI? How did it become so advanced? And the big question, is it really on its way to replacing us, or just here to help us find the fastest route to the nearest taco joint? Now let's peel back the layers of this mysterious digital onion. AI at its core is simply a system designed to mimic human interaction, using algorithms and data to learn, predict, and sometimes surprise us. But before we start imagining robots with feelings and machines that cry at the end of Titanic, let's clarify a couple of things. AI today, for all its incredible advances, is still very far from having actual emotions, desires, or world domination plans. And it's actually limited by some pretty strict, if invisible, boundaries. AI essentially comes in two flavors: narrow AI and general AI. Narrow AI is what we live with every day. It's the recommendation engine that knows you better than your best friend, the spam filter that guards your inbox, and yes, the reason your phone has a suggested response to every message your mom sends about dinner. Narrow AI is everywhere. And it is incredibly good at performing very specific tasks. Think of it like that one friend who can flawlessly quote every line of The Office but would get hopelessly lost trying to make a grilled cheese. Then we have general AI. Well, this is the stuff people fear and Hollywood loves, of course. And this is the AI that is truly as adaptable, creative, and cunning as a human. But here's the punchline. General AI does not exist yet. And contrary to what every sci-fi fan might believe, it's not right around the corner either. Scientists are still grappling with creating machines that can fully mimic the complex web of human thought, creativity, and let's be honest, our uncanny ability to procrastinate. Now, AI may sound smart, but here's the kicker. It's only as intelligent as the data it's fed and the algorithms it's built on. It doesn't understand things in the way you and I do. It's just really good at finding patterns. It doesn't know why cats are cute, but it's trained on thousands of pictures of cats, so it knows they're popular on the internet. And yes, it can beat you at chess, but it wouldn't understand why you're flipping the board in frustration when you lose. No empathy there, folks. And let's not forget that AI has its quirks, often the result of biases and limitations baked in by the very humans who created it. Yep, turns out sometimes it's more artificial than intelligent. AI can go from predicting stock market trends to confidently telling you that potatoes is the best answer to any question with alarming speed. And while AI may be great at diagnosing diseases or finding insights in oceans of data, ask it for a heartfelt opinion on pineapple pizza and it's more likely to break down than form an argument. So, what does this mean for us? Is AI the future ruler of the world, or just another tool in the human shed? The truth is, AI is only as powerful or as dumb as we make it. It's a reflection of the best and sometimes the weirdest part of human intelligence. So maybe the question isn't, will AI take over? But rather, how will we use it? Will we build it to make life easier, to solve problems we couldn't on our own? Or will we end up in a world where every device in our house recommends vacuum cleaners because we once Googled how to clean up after a party? So here's your food for thought. AI's potential is vast, but how we choose to shape it and, let's face it, regulate it, will define its place in our lives. Will it be our helpful digital sidekick or just another overhyped gadget? That's something only time and maybe a few algorithms will tell. But hey, if you need help figuring that out, there's probably an AI for that too. You may check it out. Well, that is in brief about what AI is. Of course, that's just a very short story about what AI is. And let me tell you, I'm not against AI at all. Don't misunderstand me. I love AI. And I use it a lot to help me with the repetitive tasks that I need every day. But again, that's food for thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. But now let's move on to another part of our episode where we talk about some vocabulary in context. Now let's take a look at some of the keywords and phrases we tossed around in our chat about artificial intelligence and see how they can fit right into everyday conversations. First up, we've got mimic. To mimic means to imitate or copy something, especially in a way that it's close to the original. In our episode, we talked about how AI tries to mimic human intelligence. Now, you could use it in real life like this. That parrot can mimic sounds so well you'd think someone was actually talking. Now, it's a handy word when describing anything that acts or tries to replicate something else. Next, there's quirks. We use it when talking about the funny and sometimes weird way AI behaves because of the way it's built. Now, a quirk is basically a unique characteristic or a little oddity that makes something different. So when we say AI has its quirks, we're acknowledging its imperfections. Just like a friend's habit of double-checking every door before leaving. Now, you can say, for example, one of his quirks is that he can't go a day without singing in the shower. Now, that's a quirk. Well, let's move on. Then there's bias. Well, this is a big one, especially when it comes to AI. When I mentioned the biases baked into AI, I meant that AI can develop certain preferences or skewed views based on the data we feed it. In everyday life, a bias is when someone prefers one thing over another unfairly. For example, if a teacher gives extra points to students who share their same taste in music, that's a bias. Now, you could say, for example, I think my boss has a bit of a bias for early birds. She's always complimenting the early arrivals. So that was about bias. How about takeover? Now, I use it when asking if AI would take over the world someday. Now, to take over means to gain control or start running something. It's that moment when you're in charge. Now, you can use it casually like this. My little sister always tries to take over the TV remote whenever we're watching movies. And finally, there's food for thought. Well, this phrase is a great one to make people pause and think. At the end of our talk, I left with some food for thought about the future of AI and what it means for us. Now, food for thought is a way to describe something worth considering or thinking about. So when you say, here's some food for thought, you're offering a new perspective. Now, try it in real life with, for example, after that conversation, he gave me some serious food for thought about changing my career path. All right, to wrap up, here are a couple of questions for you to ponder. Some food for thought. What's one quirk of yours that people might not know about? If you would like to share it with us, of course. And do you think AI will eventually take over more human tasks, or do you think it'll stay limited to what we allow it to do? I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. You may not want to answer the first question, it's fine, because it's about you, it's personal, but it's up to you. But the second question, it's up for grabs. You can answer it in the comment section below. And remember, my friends, let me tell you something that's very important. This is just a taste of what artificial intelligence is. If this video piques your curiosity, go ahead and dig deeper. Learn more about AI because remember, true knowledge doesn't come from short videos. Real knowledge takes time and effort, and there are no shortcuts to true knowledge. I've tried it, doesn't work, so you have to put some effort. But enough of me preaching, you know what to do. Now, with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you next time, and remember, never stop learning with English Plus Podcast.